They said it was impossible. In the high-stakes game of global technology, a single move from the most powerful nation on Earth was meant to be the end, a death blow to an entire industry. For years, the US placed an iron curtain of sanctions around China's largest chip maker, SMIC, designed to starve it of the advanced tools and materials needed to make cutting-edge semiconductors. The world watched, waiting for the inevitable collapse. But something incredible happened. Not only did SMIC survive, but it is now producing chips that rival some of the world's best, sending shockwaves through the tech world. Who is buying these chips? How did they pull off this technological miracle? And what does this all mean for the future of the world's most critical industry? We're about to uncover the secret buyers and the shocking truth behind China's impossible comeback. Welcome to Revo Now, where we dive into the stories behind the headlines that are shaping our future. If you're a fan of deep dives into technology, geopolitics, and business, you're in the right place. Before we get into today's bombshell story, if you find yourself enjoying this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. It's the best way to support the channel and ensure you don't miss our next deep dive. And don't forget to ring that notification bell. Today, we're talking about SMIC, the Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation. This isn't just a business story, it's a story of defiance, a story of a nation's resolve, and a story with a shocking twist at the end that few people saw coming. We have to start with the foundational truth. The US sanctions were designed with one goal in mind: to prevent China from making advanced chips. The sanctions targeted the essential tools and equipment needed for advanced chip manufacturing, particularly EUV lithography machines. Without these, it was widely believed that China's chip industry would be stuck at an older, less competitive technology node, specifically around 14 nanometers. They said that manufacturing chips at 7 nanometers or smaller was an impossible dream for SMIC. They were wrong. The timeline is crucial here. The US began tightening its export controls in 2019, but the most impactful measures came in the following years. The sanctions were comprehensive, designed to cut off SMIC from the supply chain that builds modern semiconductors. It was a strategy based on the assumption that without Western technology, particularly from companies like ASML, China's chip-making ambitions would be dead in the water. But in 2023, a bombshell dropped. Huawei, one of China's most important tech companies, announced the Mate 60 Pro smartphone. Inside was a chip that experts quickly identified as having been made by SMIC, and not just any chip, a 7-nanometer processor. The world was stunned. Analysts and tech experts scrambled to figure out how SMIC had pulled off this feat without the most advanced tools. The consensus was that SMIC had used older, deep ultraviolet DUV lithography machines and a process of multi-patterning, running the silicon wafer through the machine multiple times to achieve the necessary density. This process is incredibly difficult, expensive, and results in lower yields, but it proved that it wasn't impossible. This wasn't just a technological breakthrough, it was a geopolitical statement. It was a message to the world that China was not going to be held back. The question then became, if SMIC can make these chips, who is buying them? This is where the story gets fascinating and a bit murky. The official narrative is that SMIC's customers are a diverse group of domestic companies, but a closer look reveals a more complex and, frankly, more shocking truth. Let's start with what we know for sure. The search results from our research clearly show that SMIC is experiencing a boom in certain sectors. A recent earnings report for the first quarter of 2025 showed a significant increase in revenue from the automotive and industrial sectors. This is a crucial piece of the puzzle. As China's electric vehicle, EV market and industrial automation industries explode, they require a constant supply of less advanced but still vital chips, things like microcontrollers, power management integrated circuits, and sensor chips. SMIC is perfectly positioned to serve this massive domestic demand. They are the de facto supplier for this enormous, growing market. Another known customer is a key player in the consumer electronics space. Reports from the past few months, for example, highlight that Huawei is a major customer for their advanced chips. The Mate 60 Pro was just the beginning. Huawei, which is also under US sanctions, is a natural partner for SMIC. They are two of China's most important national champions in technology, and their collaboration is central to China's strategy for tech self-sufficiency. So, on the surface, it seems straightforward. SMIC is being fueled by domestic demand from booming industries and its key partner, Huawei. But to stop there would be to miss the bigger picture. It would be to miss the real secret behind SMIC's success. The names of the companies are important, but the true identity of the buyer is something far more powerful. And it's not a company at all. To understand the truth, we need to zoom out and look at the larger geopolitical chess game. The US sanctions are not just an economic measure, they are a strategic one. They are designed to contain China's technological rise. But China has a counter-strategy, and it's one of the most ambitious industrial policies in modern history. It is known as the Made in China 2025 initiative, a long-term plan to make China a dominant force in high-tech industries, with semiconductors at the very top of the list. A critical component of this strategy is a state-backed investment fund, often referred to as the Big Fund. The third phase of this fund, for example, is worth over 340 billion yuan, or roughly $47 billion. This is not a passive investment fund. It is a war chest, strategically deployed to build and subsidize China's entire semiconductor ecosystem. It is designed to plug the gaps left by the US sanctions. The Big Fund supports companies like SMIC and YMTC, China's leading memory chip maker. It funds research and development. It helps these companies acquire equipment, even if it's older equipment that requires a lot of extra work. It creates a protected, domestic market, where these companies can grow and become competitive without being exposed to the full force of international competition. So, we have a network of state-backed initiatives, massive government funding, and an unwavering national focus on technological self-reliance. This is the context. This is the battlefield. Now let's get to the shocking reveal. We've talked about the impossible feat of making 7-nanometer chips. We've talked about the known buyers, the automotive and industrial sectors, and tech giant Huawei. We've laid out the geopolitical context of the trade war and the Chinese government's strategic response. But for all the talk of individual companies and market forces, we've only been looking at the pieces. It's time to see the full picture. It's time to reveal the true identity of the most important buyer, the one entity that is not just fueling SMIC's chip boom, but has made its survival possible. It's the entity that connects all the dots, from the Mate 60 Pro to the government subsidies to the long-term strategic plan. The secret buyer isn't a company, it's not a person, it's something far more powerful, and it's hiding in plain sight. Think about it. The secret buyers are not a few rogue companies. They are the entire Chinese tech and industrial sector, guided and heavily subsidized by the government. The automotive companies and industrial firms are part of a national strategy. The collaboration between SMIC and Huawei is a deliberate state-backed project. The Big Fund is a direct capital injection, a lifeline that keeps SMIC going despite international pressure. The shocking truth is that the West's strategy of containment was based on the premise that SMIC was just a regular company operating in a free market. But it's not. It's a strategic asset in a national mission. This is a new type of economic war, where the lines between state, market and corporation are blurred. SMIC's customers aren't just buying chips, they are participating in a national drive for technological supremacy. And the most significant buyer of all is the government's unwavering support, funding and strategic direction, which ensures that SMIC will always have a market, a purpose, and the resources it needs to succeed. This isn't just about a few chips, it's about a fundamental shift in the global balance of power. And it's only just beginning. What do you think? Were you surprised by this reveal? Is this the future of technological competition? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experiences with any of this, or your ideas for what we should cover next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. This is Revo Now, decoding tomorrow's hidden tech landscape today.
Subscribe to Revo Now and join our vibrant community of forward thinkers, change makers, and revolutionaries.